Okay guys, welcome to the second part of the 8.5, 8.6 geometry notes. So I'm on the third page of the packet that you were given. And we've been talking about trigonometric ratios and learning about how if we know an angle and one side of a right triangle, we can figure out the other two sides. Okay, but what if we had a triangle like this, where we knew 6 was one length and 10 was another, right? And what if we wanted to know, say, angle B over here? Okay, so we know two sides instead of one, and this time we want to know the angle. Okay, so I don't know, let's just do some guessing and see if we can get close to this idea. Now, 6 is across from angle B, so that would be opposite. 10 is the hypotenuse. Okay, so what trig function does that go with? We've got SOHCAHTOA, got opposite and hypotenuse. That's sine. Okay, so if the measure of angle B equals 30, let's just guess. Maybe it's 30. Okay, then let's see. Sine B, sine of 30, is 0.5. How does that compare to the ratio 6/10? Okay, well, 5/10, which I guess is sort of close, but you know, sine values can only be between 0 and 1, we'll learn, so it's not really that close. Okay, what about 32? What if we guess that angle B is 32? Let's try that and see if we get any closer. 0.53. Okay, so maybe that's 0.50. That's a little closer to 0.6 or 6/10, but let's see if we can get closer. Let's try sine 36. 0.58, which would round up, so 0.59. Okay. And let's try something a little higher because we're getting pretty warm here. Sine 37. There we go. There's finally pretty close to 6/10, a little bit over, but 0.60 approximately. Okay. Okay, looks like we went a little bit over though, okay, because technically it was 6.018. So we found something really close. It's probably somewhere between 36 and 37, but not exactly one of those numbers. Okay. If you change to sine 36.5, okay, we get 0.94, okay, 0.594. Okay, so we're getting a little bit closer. Okay, so we'd have to keep on going. Now it's somewhere between 37 and 36.5. So we try 36.6, 36.7, etc. And we still might not get the exact value. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you're not liking this, so we need a better way. Okay, fortunately, there's a handy function on your calculator that will find the angle for you without you doing this guess and check game. Okay. All you need to do is tell it the sine, the cosine, or the tangent value that you would like to have, and your calculator will spit out the angle that fits your description. Okay, so watch what we could have done. This says the sine function to the -1 power. The sine function to the -1 power. What that is called is the inverse sine function. Inverse sine. Okay, so instead of, okay, with regular sine, okay, if you remember when you learned about functions in algebra, we had input and output, okay, which the input was the x and the output was the y. Okay, for sine function, the input, okay, is an angle, okay, the output is a ratio, okay. For inverse sine, the input is a ratio like 6/10. The output that your calculator will give you is an angle. Okay, So again, it is important that you are in degree mode, okay? If your calculator's been cleared recently or is new from the store, it'll be in radian mode and you need to change it to degree mode. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this first practice triangle here. Notice I have two sides. I have a 90-degree angle. I do not know either one of these angles, and I would like to. So let's see. From the perspective of angle A, 4 is opposite, 2 is adjacent. Okay, let's write SOHCAHTOA. Okay. Oh, I need O and A together. That's in tangent. So I'm going to write that the tangent of A is equal to 4 over 2. Opposite side over adjacent side. Okay. I want to undo tangent. Okay. You know how, and I'll just move over here to the side for a second. You don't necessarily have to write this down, but you know, if you've got 2x equals 6, how do you undo 2? Well, you do the opposite of it. The opposite of multiplication is division, so you divide on both sides. Okay. What if you have 3 plus x equals 7? How do you undo the 3? Well, you do the opposite. You subtract it on both sides by 3. Okay. I'll erase that. The way that we're going to undo tangent is we're going to essentially take the inverse tangent of both sides. So I can get A by itself by inverse tangenting, that's a verb that I can use, both sides, okay, which basically causes the tangent to go away on the left side, but the inverse tangent to stay on the right side. Okay. Now if you bring up your calculator, okay, we've got inverse tangent. So I need to press second tangent, okay, of 4 divided by 2. There's the ratio. This time I'm giving the calculator the ratio. I want an angle out of this. Okay, I got 63.4 or so. A equals 63.4 degrees. Okay. Now that I have that A is 63.4 degrees, okay, I'm sure it has not escaped your notice that you could figure out angle B by doing 90 minus 63.4, because this is a right triangle. Okay, there's 90 degrees unaccounted for. We just found 63.4. We know they add up to 180. Okay, so, and we know that the two acute angles in a right triangle are complements. So I can do 90, and rather than have to type all that stuff again, you can just write or hit the second button, second, and then down here where the negative sign is, answer, and you get 26.6. B equals 26.6. Okay. Alrighty, let's do another one. This one. Okay, from this perspective of A, you don't have to start with A. I'm just starting with A because it comes first in the alphabet. You could start with B. 3 is the adjacent, and 4, of course, is the hypotenuse. That doesn't change from angle to angle. So I need a trig function that works with A and H. A and H, I see it here on the cosine. CAH, the cosine of an angle is equal to the adjacent side, which is 3, over the hypotenuse, 4. Okay. I want to undo the cosine to both sides. So the opposite of cosigning an angle, taking the cosine of it, is taking the inverse cosine. Okay. I wrote over my exponent there. Okay. So I bring up my calculator. Here we go. The inverse cosine of 3/4 is about 41.4 degrees. So A is about 41.4 degrees. B, I simply need to subtract from 90. Remember, you can just do 90 minus the answer from your previous problem, and you get 48.6 if we round to the tenths place, and so on. Okay, so please try the rest of these problems, and then I will post some answers in our agenda for you.